the search for a 19-year-old girl who has been missing since January continues this evening.
Kelly Hunt is originally from Shaktoolik and was last seen in Anchorage this past weekend. Community members wanting to raise awareness of her case made their voices heard during the state 1A and 2A basketball championship at the Alaska Airlines Center in Anchorage. Just a year ago, Kelly was a senior on the winning Shaktoolik girls basketball team. Her older brother says back in January, she was on her way back to Alaska Christian College near Soldotna when she stopped checking her phone. Since then, he's offered a $5,000 reward for any information that helps find her.
It's kind of a pain that never settles. It's not just grief. It's also the constant not knowing, the unanswered questions and whatnot that echo every day.
Kelly was last seen in Anchorage on 32nd and Oregon Drive. She was on foot at the time. She is 5 foot 4 inches tall with black hair and brown eyes and believed to weigh around 155 pounds. If you know anything, call 311 or Crime Stoppers.
New information released tonight. The Alaska Department of Law confirms a suspect in a homicide investigation from over the weekend who was found dead took his own life.
The body of 61-year-old Mathew Becker was discovered Sunday morning in the woods in Eagle River. Anchorage police say he tried murdering his ex-wife at her hair salon on Cordova Street Saturday by shooting at her. Police say Becker then went to her Airport Heights home where he shot and killed her 87-year-old father.
Well, an Anchorage doctor convicted in a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme learned her sentence today.
Federal prosecutors say patients were billed for expensive injections that weren't always what they received. Dr. Claribel Tan was sentenced to 78 months on count 1, healthcare fraud, and 60 months on count 2, tax evasion, to be served concurrently. She'll also have 2 years of supervised release, and prosecutors expect at least $17 million in restitution.
Now, investigators say Tan and her husband ran an Anchorage rheumatology clinic where insurers were billed for full doses of costly biologic drugs, while patients may have received less medication, substituted drugs, or even expired medications. Prosecutors say the scheme generated more than $12 million in false insurance claims. Victims told the court the case had lasting impacts on their health, also their families.
That crimes like this, that are economic crimes, aren't just about the dollars. They're about so much more, and we saw that today by the victim statements.
Tan's husband and co-defendant, Daniel Tan, was sentenced to 3 years probation with 2 years to be served in home confinement.
Well, the ballots are in the mail. We're talking about voting in Anchorage's municipal election now, less than a month away. Lauren Maxwell has more on what you need to know to make sure your vote is counted.
On Tuesday, more than 200,000 ballots went out in the mail to registered Anchorage voters for the April 7th election, while workers at the Anchorage Election Center prepared to mail out nearly 1,500 more. Officials say if you're expecting a ballot but don't see it by next Tuesday,
we can send you a replacement ballot.
Definitely give them a call. The municipal election offers lots of ways to vote, including 18 ballot drop boxes around town that are ready to go. Of course, you can send your ballot back in the mail with a single forever stamp, but if it's close to Election Day, it's a good idea to go to the post office and bring it inside,
so that we can ensure that we get that postmark on the day that it was dropped off.
And starting March 31st, places like City Hall and the Lusac Library will allow you to vote in person. Just make sure to bring your ID.
Driver's license, passport, fishing license, those all still work for us.
And for people who want to know exactly where their ballot is,
you get notified every step of the way?
You can sign up for something called Ballot Track.
Yep, I got my notification this morning that my ballot is on its way to me.
The system tracks your ballot through the process and will even let you know if there's a problem that needs correcting. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
And today's newest episode of Alaska's Political Pipeline podcast is focused on the municipal election.
I had a chance to sit down with Tracy Sinclair, also Joe Allgood, and our political reporter Will Courtney to discuss the election. Will says, although the election is local, of course, lawmakers in Juneau keeping a very close eye on what happens.
I think if you have a candidate in the local elections that's really going to appease or maybe even fall in line with the agenda that some of the lawmakers here are having, or the lawmakers from the administration like Governor Dunleavy, I think it's absolutely something that lawmakers here would be watching to see what the local governments are going to be doing. And you also got to think about it. I mean, Anchorage, 300,000 population plus. I mean, that makes up a lot of just members here in the legislature itself. A lot of legislature composed and comprised of Anchorage lawmakers.
Some very smart conversation. Get informed. You can watch full new episodes of Alaska's Political Pipeline right now, wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
All right. And they've already seen 14 feet of snow this winter and another foot likely on the way.
Are you talking southeast? She is talking southeast. Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry tracking that storm. Melissa, I know that we have friends down. They say it's not going to stop. It's unending.
Yeah, it's just been wave after wave after wave, and that is going to be the trend all the way through the end of this week. So yes, another foot of snow is likely for Juneau. Right now sitting at 31 degrees, seeing those clouds lowering again, and the snow is going to pick up overnight tonight into tomorrow. Further north, it is crystal clear in Fairbanks, but cold, 2 below for you. That sun trying to break through that thin cloud deck here in Anchorage, where temperatures are sitting in the mid-teens. We are seeing some cloud cover, and eventually by Thursday, even chances for some light snow spreading here across South Central. Further north, it is clear, it is cold, but it is about to be windy. The winds are going to increase through the Bering Strait region all the way into the Yukon Delta. Also for portions of the slope from the Dalton Highway and east, we are going to see wind gusts between 45 and 50 miles per hour. That starts tomorrow, continuing through the end of the week. But as for that moisture, that is all continuing there in southeast. Now, we are watching the Iditarod Trail conditions as teams make their way out to the coast along the ice. This stretch of the trail is known for its poor visibility and strong winds coming in off from Norton Sound, and this year will be no different. Those winds are going to pick up tonight into tomorrow. Now, for those first teams making it in, maybe they beat the wind. We will see winds this evening from the northwest of 5 to 15 miles per hour, but those are going to increase tomorrow. Temperatures not quite as cold as it has been, but still dropping to 4 below tonight with a high of 8 tomorrow, and we will eventually see those winds even increasing further as we head into Thursday. So I'll be watching that closely for, again, conditions in the next 24 hours, but I'll have that statewide forecast next.
All right, Melissa, thanks so much. And let's head up to Fairbanks, where a downtown warming center will no longer be an option next winter.
Yeah, a Fairbanks Hope Link. It's a nonprofit that runs the facility. They say they will close their doors for good on April 30th due to funding concerns. Board member Michelle Pesky says it needs leadership adjustments, including the executive director, also program manager roles.
It was supposed to be a warm place for people to stay so they didn't freeze. And it's grown into something that in order to find sustainable financial resources, we would have to grow as an organization, which with a volunteer board is more than we're able to do.
Board members say the closure announcement was made early, so the community has time to make adjustments and come up with alternative resources. And let's head right back out there. You're taking a look at the live finish line of the, it's not live. Obviously, that'd be a magical drone shot.
Wow.
But here's the finish line of the Iditarod and Nome from earlier today. The calm before the storm, of course, because this evening, the first finishers of the competition will be crossing and ready to celebrate.
That was an incredible shot. You're right.
Beautiful.
Now, as you can imagine, excitement building near the arch. Mushers, they complete that long and frigid journey. And we got sports director Jordan Rodenberger out there right now. There he is with that beautiful beanie. Jordan, what's happening? What can we expect tonight?
Yeah, the town of Nome anxiously awaiting the Iditarod finish later tonight, but it also happens to be St. Patrick's Day, where just moments ago we saw John the Leprechaun leading a parade down the front street of Nome. John, happy St. Patrick's Day. I understand that this was a few years in the making. How did this come together and line up?
Well, about 4 years ago, I figured out that St. Patrick's Day would end on the first musher would come in today. So I decided that I would come in 2026 and come up with all my stuff and have a good time.
Incredible. And how did it feel? What did you think of the turnout coming down Front Street of Nome on St. Patty's Day?
That was actually a surprise. Found that out this morning at breakfast that they actually had a parade. I actually just thought I would be at the end with the musher coming in, but that was kind of a neat surprise that they actually had a St. Patrick's Day parade with an escort with the police.
Incredible. You got the full getup, including the staff, and we gave a close-up in on this of St. Patrick's Day. A little backstory of this.
I've been doing the dress up since about 2007, and this was just one of my added pieces. Every year I add something new to the collection with the boots, with the staff, and it just keeps going on and on.
Awesome job. Well, lots to celebrate today between the Iditarod finish and St. Patrick's Day. So enjoy the rest of the festivities. Appreciate it. And we'll see you here on Alaska's News Source for the official Iditarod finish with live coverage. Reporting from Nome, Jordan Rodenberger, Alaska's News Source. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Good stuff, Jordan.
Right?
Thanks so much, and thank you to Mr. Leprechaun.
Yes, I'm the Leprechaun. Thank you very much. Happy
Thank you for your
St.
service.
Patrick's Day.
Nailed it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Nome, Front Street, going to be incredible
It's going to be a blast.
Oh, my gosh. All right, we all know the path to glory, it's a real challenge, right? Iditarod confirmed that a dog that was part of the veteran mushing team, Millie Torsild's dog team, one of the dogs on her team died on the trail unexpectedly that was on the way to the Elam checkpoint.
The 4-year-old female named Charlie died after passing all pre-race evaluations. A necropsy will be conducted. Torsild scratched with 13 dogs remaining.
And also, rookie Iditarod musher Jody Potts-Joseph had to scratch this morning just after 11 o'clock at the Tripod Flats cabin that's between Caltag and Unalakleet. She says it was in the best interest of her 10-dog team. Potts-Joseph finished her quest after also surviving that bison encounter earlier in the race we had to tell you about. Let's take a look at that GPS tracker right now. This is live. We expect to crown a winner tonight in likely a matter of hours. We're closely following, and we're going to see who finishes where on the late edition.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's News Source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's News Source app.